So again, good afternoon and good morning for some of you. So this is Florence Salaco speaking from Dassault System. I'm working at Dassault System on our academic programs, and I'm in charge of all the technical activities for the Space Challenge and getting you to use or help you to use the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. So today we're going to have an overview of the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. It's going to be different from last week's webinar, which is more, I would say, conceptual to introduce you to the idea of working to the platform. Today, I'm going to focus on using the platform. So it's going to be more hands-on. From what you have at this point, you all have received an invitation to connect to the platform, and I will recommend you to do that. And from there, I'm going to explain to you how to log in to the platform, how to navigate to the platform, what do you have to do if you want to install the Reach app on your computer, because there's two parts on the platform, one part that is web-based, so no need to install anything, one part that is installed on your computer, the CAD part if you want. So for that, you need to install something, and I'm going to explain you how to do that. And we're going to finish with how to get some support. I'm going to talk to you about that. And at the end, if you have some question, I can review your question. I will see them in the chat section of the conference. So about 3D experience. So a quick overview. I've got two slides about the overview. So 3D experience is what we call an engineering platform. So a platform, so there's two things in there. The platform side, meaning we are able to connect different tools, data, and processes in one environment to allow product development. That means processes and tools related to modeling, design, and modeling, when I say 3D and some equations, design, analysis, manufacturing, and collaboration. Everything can be done in this platform. And the second thing is that Dassault do have all those tools. Dassault is an engineering company that provides different products that you may know. I'm going to review some of them in a few minutes, like CATIA, Delmia, Simulia for financial analysis, and all the existing Dassault tools, and including SolidWorks is a Dassault tool. All the existing Dassault tools are going to be available directly in the platform. And it's not through the platform, it's in the platform. There is one exception. SolidWorks in that version is not yet integrated in the platform, but you can import and export SolidWorks data to the platform. And same thing, I want to cover how to import and export data in the platform. So since we have a lot of different tools to do all those analyses, the information is organized by theme. And one thing to look at here is the 3DEXPERIENCE logo. We call it, and it sometimes is referred to it as the compass. So the compass has 4 quadrants: the north, south, east, and west one. So on the north, you're going to find all the tools for collaboration and social apps. So when you need to have digital connections between your information, between your bill of material, for example, you're going to find all the tools in that quadrant. The second quadrant, 3D, here is everything that is related to modeling. So all the 3D modeling app, most of the time is going to be CATIA, but there's more than CATIA actually. You can do also what you call topological optimization or shape optimization. You can optimize your shape based on the load or the load cases that you have in your system. And you can also do some what you call behavioral modeling. You can solve a differential equation and link those different equations to your model here. And I will show you a little example a little bit later. Under VR, virtual and real, you have all the simulation apps. So all the tools necessary for either finite element analysis, it can be on fluid or solids, and on solid it can be based on the load or the variation in temperature or any combination. And another set of tools that you have also here are the tools coming from Delmia for manufacturing. And if you want, or if you have any ergonomic analysis to do, the tools are going to be in that section. And the last section, data-driven, so you are able to connect all the different data that you have, analyze data, result data, and make some analysis on it. And you got some standard tools that are available here. So the quadrant is here. It seems to be a picture. It is a picture here, but when we switch a little bit later, because I will do a demo, you will see that it's actually interactive. It's exactly that logo that we're going to use to access to the different apps. On the right side here, you have a print screen of the Reach app. So 3DEXPERIENCE has two interfaces. They are the same. There's the web version and what we call the Reach app, which is this screen here. This is the portion that's going to be installed on your computer. And this is where, as you can, I don't know if it may be too small here. It says CATIA here. What you see here is an assembly in CATIA, but it's going to be the same window for Simulia, which is the Abacus version in 3DEXPERIENCE, and for Delmia. It's going also to be integrated in the same window. So when you install the Reach app, so that program here, in one installation, you're going to install CATIA, Delmia, Simulia, and everything works in the same window in the same environment. So I'm trying to switch. Okay, so Dassault come from a long history on 3D and product development. We are now on the area of 3DEXPERIENCE, which is basically the demonstration on how to do holistic design. The previous generation of tools that we had were focusing on PLM, so product lifecycle management, based on the mockup, where you can link engineering and manufacturing data, and also manage the lifecycle of all those data, the part and the metadata. But those tools were good, the processes were working with that, but all the different tools that are needed for all the different people working on product development, there was not enough tool in that view. So going to the 3DEXPERIENCE, we're still keeping the link between engineering and manufacturing, but we are able to adding other tools for other stakeholders in the product development process. And more than that, since we have, for example, design tool, analysis tool, and manufacturing tool, we can integrate all those different tools and create new functions that didn't exist before because they were all in different products. So the fact that all the products are going to be in the same platform is going to help and to streamline the design process. So this is the platform that you have, and you may have heard that Dassault Systems signed an agreement with Boeing last year, and Boeing is going to deploy the platform in all their branch and it's an agreement for 30 years. So they endorse that vision, and a lot of large company and medium company also are endorsing that vision. So let's go back to the platform itself. So we are working in 12 different industries, and same thing, the idea is to find the right processes and the right tools for the different activities that occurs in product development in all those different industries. What about the content itself? So again, you see here the 4 quadrants. So 3D, VR, simulation and collaboration and information. And here you see a view of all the products that compose those different quadrants. This is the view of what you have access to in the platform. And by the way, if you are following live right now, or even if you're not following live, if you are connected to the platform, you can click on the top left logo of 3DEXPERIENCE, and you will see that this logo is interactive. So what are the products? So you've got the CATIA product. So CATIA is for product design and experience. You've got the social and collaboration apps for 3D Excite, which is for augmented reality and virtual reality. meaning you can use some HTC Vice, for example, with the system. And also you've got Enovia, which is the PLM tool for BOM management, requirement management, and BOM requirement and IP management. And you've got also project management tools that is coming from Enovia. And those are the products. A little bit later, I'm going to give you a few apps or show you a few apps that are essential for you to start with a project. I'm just starting with a global view and going to dive into all those different elements within the next minutes. On the simulation apps, you will find many Delmia. So for those who don't know, Delmia is our factory and manufacturing simulation app, and Simulia is FEA, so anything related to virtual testing and simulation. And CATIA, when we say it's product design, you also have composites, for example, also in there. So if you choose to have some part in composite and need to do some specific design, you have those tools in the platform. Exalead, you're going to use that tool without knowing. It's actually just a search tool. Everything is indexed in the platform. So each time you're searching for data, you're actually using that product, but you don't know that it's that product. So this is the content of the platform. So in the next slide, I'm going to go over those different quadrants. I'm not going to present all the details. By the way, this presentation is going to be available on the platform, on what you call the support community that I'm going to introduce a little bit later. So we'll have access to that information. So again, on the connectivity side, this is what you're going to see. So everything related to product management, product planning management, configuration management. You are going to use some of the tools that are in that section for data management. For example, if you need to release a part, if you need to copy a part, if you need to delete a part, the tools that you need to use are available in that section of the Compass. So this is the access, collaboration, social and collaboration apps. For the CATIA apps, everything that is model-based, so everything related to CATIA is here. 3D modeling core, styling, surface design, system architecture, or model-based system engineering, and I'm going to talk to you about that. If you're doing some electric and electronic, is there, fluid system. The key elements here, especially for the design of the rocket, is multidiscipline engineering. All those tools are available through that quadrant. The next one is the simulation apps. So you've got the Delmia and Simulia. So for Delmia, the manufacturing side, you've got manufacturing planning, manufacturing process documentation, create your MBOM, your manufacturing bill of material, which is a variation of the EBOM, engineering bill of material. So I think that is Delmia related and Simulia related. Right now, you're at the beginning of your project, so I'm not expecting you to learn about Delmia right now. You will need that maybe more in 1 year or after phase 1 when you enter phase 2. But I'm still explaining to you what you have in the platform now. By the way, you have access to all those tools. It doesn't mean that you need to use all of them. There are way too much tool to use in the platform. So you have to select which one you want to use. And we're going to help you to use them through 3 processes. The first one, you're going to have access to online training. And I'm going to show you where they are. The second process is we are going to create some webinar for some specific tools and depending on the roles that you have in the team. And the third one, in the support community, you're going to be able to ask some questions. So we'll help you to get through your design with those different tools. And if you're not using the tools that are inside the platform, but they are outside, same thing, we're going to support you. If you want to manage your data, we're going to show you how to import and export and work with the platform. By the way, one reminder, it is mandatory for the competition to present your design through the platform to the judges. and there's going to be a specific webinar on that, on how to set up a dashboard for the judges and how to work with your mentors. The last section is data-driven, so the apps that are here are from Exalead and NetVibes. I don't need to go into detail at this point on that. So in summary, so as you can understand, depending of which quadrant is selected, you've got a specific set of apps. And what I'm showing you here is coming from the web page, and those apps help you in your design process. So how to connect to the platform? So you received an invitation and you're invited to accept the invitation, and once it's accepted, you're going to connect. If you did not accept if you do not remember what is the address, what thing you can do on Google, search for 3D Experience Academia. And with those words, the first link that is not an ad will be the entry point. Right now I'm already connected, so let me sign out and close this tab. Okay, so I'm going to connect to that link, and I will use here my ID and my password. The email that you receive from the Dassault system asks you to create what you call a passport. So it's an ID to be able to connect, and it will get you to that page where you're going to use your email, create your own username. You can choose whatever you want. The system will tell you if the characters you are using are valid or not. Enter your first name, your last name, create your password, confirm your password, select your country, agree to the term and policy, and from there, you're going to have something created called a passport, and the passport is going to allow you to connect to the platform. And for me, my passport for my login is what we call my ID at Dassault, which is FSO2, and my password, and I log in, and I'm going to arrive to the web section of 3D Experience. So I'm going to now start the demo portion of the presentation. And I'm going to talk about those elements. So I'm going to review the layout, talk to you about the dashboard, 3D Space, 3D Swim, web app, rich app. I already start to talk about that. And after that, we're going to come back to the slides for the rest of the presentation. So the layout, what do you see when you log into the platform? So first, you're going to log in to what you call a dashboard. And what you're going to see is going to be very similar to what you see here. So let me explain to you the layout of the page. There seems to be a lot of information, but actually the good thing is that it's always the same information whatever the environment you are in. So you've got those 6 main information. So the compass, as I said earlier, that give you access to all the apps. Next to the compass, you always see 3D Experience, something in bold and something that is not in bold. The information is bold is the name of the app or the name of the program you are using, and the information next to it is related to that app. So for example, here, I've got 3D Dashboard, which is the name of the app called Dashboard, which is the page where I see the information, and I'm on the dashboard that's called My First Dashboard. If I go to the Reach app, for example, right now I'm in. So again, I've got the logo 3D Experience. I'm in CATIA, and the app I am in right now is Daimola Behavior Modeling. So this is the information I see in every page when I'm working with the platform. Next to it, I will have the search bar. So again, it's the tool that is not named, which is Exalead, but when you need to search something in the system, you use that search bar. Everything is indexed live, so you can always look for something. Tag, those are tools to filter the result of your data. They're automatically created, so you can just select everything you need. The me side, so it will tell you who is connected. This one is a gray bar, but if I look on 3D Experience here, I've got my name and the red square. If I go back to the Reach app, same thing. I've got my name and the red square, the red circle. Sorry, I do have an additional information, but I'm going to talk about that later. And after that, you've got what you call the services menu. So next to me, you've got notification, the bell icon. The plus sign is to add information to the platform. The arrow is to share information. So save is under here. So save and import are save and export are under the arrow. Create a new model or create new data or import information is under the plus sign. So plus, something I want to put in the platform. The arrow, something that I want to take out of the platform or send to the platform. Then an icon for the content. I've got a shortcut to my content and a shortcut to my communities. And the last one is the help. So this is the default environment for the platform. So here, if I go back, so I've got my compass here, and you see here, depending on which quadrant I'm selecting, I've got a little pop-up window. The 3D Experience, the dashboard, and the search tool, the me section, and all the services. In the dashboard, so the dashboard is that page. It's always a web page. It's a web page with different tabs, and what you see here in that gray section just below the blue one are all the tabs. So here, I've got more than the default one, but I've got platform news. If I click here, I've got collaboration information. So different demos for how to collaborate with in the platform, mechanical design, system engineering, composite design. So those are different examples of projects that are done with the platform, and some links to pertinent trainings that are in the platform. So what you're starting to see maybe here is that the information that is presented here helped me to categorize the information, and also give me some shortcuts to some trainings that are related to those subjects. And this is one way to use part of the platform, is to organize the information and present it in a structured way for you, for your team member, and for the judges and for the mentors also. So you have that approach and you have that capability in the platform, and there's no need for any programming to do that. We're going to do an example in a few minutes. So I have all these tabs. I am not limited to one dashboard. If I click to the arrow pointing down here, I see all the other dashboard that I have. So this is my work environment. This is what I use daily. So this is related to Dassault activities. However, I do have one dashboard that is called DS Space Challenge. We created one dashboard specifically for you. And I'm going to send you an email just after this webinar with a link with that dashboard, because a dashboard can be shared. This platform is designed to work in team, to work on big projects, and the idea is to share information. So to share a dashboard, what I'm going to do a little bit later, I'm going to use the share function here. I can share directly in the platform, but in that case, I'm going to generate a link and send you that link. And what you will be able to do once you get my email, first, you will have to make sure that you accepted the invitation to the platform. If you have and connected at least once to the platform, click on the link that's going to be in my email, and the dashboard that you see here is going to be copied to your own dashboard, and you can rename it if you want to. And the idea is for you to be able to reuse that dashboard during the projects. So what did we put in that dashboard? We put 4 tabs. 3D Experience onboarding to help you to get you started with the platform. Online learning, so some predefined curriculums, and we're going to add some in the future, and some videos. So the first one is more a conceptual video that's going to explain to you what is the learning platform for. The learning platform is called Plex, Peer Learning Experience. But the one you're going to be most interested in is the second video that is just below. That's going to explain to you. Let me make it bigger. That's going to explain to you how to connect to the platform, not to the platform, how to connect to the online learning website, and how to find a specific training, and how to enroll in that training, and how to do the training. And this is included in the platform. And to make it easier, we also put, so you've got different links here. The link between the two videos is the link to the generic entry points to the training page. So and it's called Peer Learning Experience. If you click on it, you're going to get to that page. You're going to go through that yellow button here that says Start Your Journey, and you should ask to log in. In my case, I already log in, and I get here to the trainings. And if I go, for example, to the learning side, or I can directly search for part design, enter. I see different trainings that are accessible. The basic one is part design fundamental. And I can enroll in it and go through the training. So this one is a training called Companion, meaning it's coming from Dassault System Education Center. We do have other type of trainings that are available and are developed by a professor that you can use. And inside those training, what you will find, you find some explanations at the beginning and some exercises. If we look here on the top left, I can see here I can navigate into the training, and I will find the different section. And after each section, most of the time, you have an exercise. And if to be able to do the exercise, you need to download any data. You will have this arrow pointing down with the yellow circle that's going to be on, and then you can download the data that is available for you to do the exercise. Then you need to import the data. We're going to cover that a little bit later. Sometimes, most of the time also, you find some quick videos. There's no one is speaking on those videos, but you have some quick explanation on what to do to be able to do those exercises. And all the trainings although follows the same presentation, and for the exercises, they are step by step. Sorry, I went too fast. If I say here, create a pad, I can go and follow all the steps that are presented. They are numbered, so you can, those trainings are designed to be self-paced. So this is the site that we call Peer Learning Experience, and this is the one you should look for to get detailed training on the different tools and all the tools I talked about. So Delmia, Simulia, Katia, you have all those trainings available online. And again, from the dashboard, I'm going to share with you. You go to the tab called Online Training, and we did prepare some curriculum depending of your role. So mechanical designer, additive manufacturing designer, and again, our other roles. We're going to have a few of them. They're going to be on the same page. So everything is going to be accessible through that page. Those training at the beginning may be a little bit long. So if you want something a little bit shorter, what we develop, if I go back to the first tab here, we develop a set of videos that you can listen to maybe one and once, and those videos will help you to have a quick start with the platform. And they're designed to be short. So when I say short, I say half an hour max. Some of them are 40 minutes, but they're not as long as the online training that I just talked about. So if you click on the link, you will see the video, or if you click on the tile, you will see a playlist also of those videos. They are on YouTube on our channel, 3DS Academy. And again, those are training videos. They're meant for you to learn the platform or the tools on the platform. So this one is basic of Katia into the experience. By the way, If you are a user of CATIA v5 or CATIA v6, you will recognize the functions and the way you're going to use the CATIA that is inside 3DEXPERIENCE to design. In terms of vocabulary, I would like to clarify one thing. In terms of product line at Dassault, we do have a product called CATIA v5, which is a standalone product. We had another product after CATIA v5 that is CATIA v6, but is no longer in use. And now we're going to a version that is the CATIA in 3DEXPERIENCE. So 3 different products. However, the way to use the different products are the same. So if you know part design in CATIA v5, you know part design in CATIA in 3DEXPERIENCE. The icons, some icons have been withdrawn, but the windows are the same. And again, so someone speaking, it's not speaking, it's someone that worked for us at Dassault that developed those trainings, and they are tailored for an academic use. So you should be able to get started quite very quickly with those trainings. This one is part design and skeleton methodology. So this one is to give you the first information on how to design in 3D in part design. So we've created those trainings. So 3 different information. So on the 2 for beginner and 1 more advanced. So on beginner, the first style are the trainings related to 3DEXPERIENCE. So we'll find dashboard management, collaboration tools, project management, and requirement management. And for the CATIA side, CATIA Basics number 1, CATIA Basics number 2, surface and a little bit of assembly design in the 3rd one, and drafting in the 4th one. On the advanced one, so you've got wiring, assembly simulation with Delmia, it's a little bit more advanced. Model-based system engineering, RFLP. This one it's a recorded live webinar. This one is quite advanced. And the last one is relational design, and I think you should look at this one. So what are my recommendations if you have to start? So start with dashboard management. This is the one that's going to help you to navigate in the platform. After that, look at the collaboration tools. And this one's going to be very helpful. There's some useful links. And by the way, I forgot to mention that in those videos, if you look at the description, we did put what was the content of those videos. The first part is chronological, and the second part is by subject. So general information, if you want to find a specific section about a specific subject, you can directly click on the link, and the link will bring you to that video at that specific timestamp. So we have that for most of the videos. So again, basic videos to look at to work with the platform: dashboard management, collaboration tools, CATIA Basics number 1, CATIA Basics number 2. Those are the one if you're working with CATIA, but that's the one you should start with. If you are the CEO of one of the coordinator of your team, I don't know what your role is, you must and you should look at project management and requirement management. And everyone can look at it, but I think not everyone is interested, and everyone is going to look at it. But we created those specific project management. It's a 46-minute introduction, but it's going to help you set up a project. It's going to help you distribute the tasks, and everyone will be able to see those tasks on their own dashboard. Requirement management is to manage all the requirements for the design of your rocket. You can link that to some variables that are going to be linked to your mockup a little bit later. So this one is very interesting. And if you're doing requirement management and using variables, you should have a look to relational design. That's going to explain to you how to set up a skeleton for your rocket and build your different components on top of the skeleton. The example that we use here is it's not a rocket, it's a plane, it's a little plane, but you're going to see how all those parts are related to the same set of variables and if you modify one variable, everything is going to be updated automatically. So that methodology is presented here. So to summarize, look at video 1.2 on 3D Experience and 1.2 for CATIA. If you have that specific role or you're interested, look at 3 and 4 for project management and requirement management, and also relational design. And after that, I will look at surface and assembly design. A little bit later, we can talk about the other trainings as you go through those to your design process. So this is, and again, this information is in the dashboard DS Space Challenge, and we are going to share that dashboard with you. So what do you find here? You've got to read me first. It's just a quick explanation on what is the platform, how to learn the platform. Those are very short, quick information, content and recommendations. So we do give you, well, the recommendation I was talking about are here actually. And what is the definition of a dashboard? This is the content of that tab. And I put also below in the 3D Swim some information on how to install the native app, so that you got at the same time a video, a quick explanation video that's going to review how to install the native app. And just below you've got the procedure, which is this PDF file. It's not that long. You're going to show you that file. So this is the procedure. So the installation, you go to the platform, you connect, launch any of the CATIA app. The system is going to see that it's not installed on your computer, and it's going to ask you to install two things: the launcher, which is a short, small program that is 4 megabytes. That's going to install here. If you look on my screen on the bottom right, this 3DEXPERIENCE logo here, that is the launcher. And after that, the launcher will look for the native app, is not going to find it, and it's going to automatically launch, download, and the installation of the rich app. Be aware of one thing: the installation of the native app is requires the download of quite a big file. It's a 22 gigabyte file. So it's not something that you start 5 minutes before leaving to somewhere else, or you need to move your computer. It's quite a big file. It's one install though, but everything is installed at once in this environment. Again, you will see during the installation procedure that you can pause and restart the installation procedure. I do not recommend you to pause. Put you in a situation when you can start and finish the installation in one step. During the installation, you will have to answer two questions. The first one is going to be, what are the roles you need to install? The answer is install all granted roles. And the second window is going to ask you if you need to connect the platform to an external environment. You do not have to connect it to an external environment, so you will answer no connector. That's the only two questions that you're going to see. And this installation is going to be made in one step on your computer, your PC computer, not a Mac, or a Mac with Boot Camp. This is what you can use to be able to install the platform. So this is the this is the first tab for the onboarding. We covered the second tab about online learning. So this is the second level of training that you have access to. And what is the third tab here? So the third tab is different. The way we design the third tab is an example for you to reuse during your project. I put in that tab different tabs that has some information, different apps, sorry, that has some information that will be pertinent for your project. So what did we put? We put here an example of a Gantt project. Let me put that. It's a Gantt project for a design project. The example that I have here is concept development. What do I have to do to go to my product design review? And then subsystem development. What do I have to do to go to my critical design review? And again, what do I have to do to go to my manufacturing readiness review? So this is just an example of something you can organize for and to execute your project, and this organization mimic the way it is done in the industry, in the aerospace industry. So the idea is for you also to be able to start to work the way professional engineers are working in those different industries. So this is the project Gantt. The app below is my collaborative task. So if someone assigns me a task here in the Gantt project, I will see that task in my to-do list. I've got to-do in progress plan, and when I've got a task here, I can drag and drop in between the different columns. And in the training project management, you see an example of that. Here, I can manage my parts. So here, I've got one part that is frozen. I can change the status of that part if I need to. And here, I will find a tool. This is here that the tool is. It's called the delete and the copy function, duplicate function are here. You're going to look up for them at some point. So they are not in the standard app when you're going to have access to your data. They are on a specific app that is called Collaborative Lifecycle. Here I've got an app called 3D Play, and I put and this is in 3D. By the way, I said earlier that the Reach app is PC only. This is right. However, the web page will work on any platform. Mac, PC, your phone, Android, or iPhone, you can access to that page anywhere, anytime. And the 3D part, what I'm showing you here, will work on any platform. So you will be able to access those information and showcase that information to anyone, anytime, and anywhere. And you have some tools. You can make some measurements here for that plane. Here, I can explode that view. By the way, that plane flies. It's a plastic plane that you can assemble yourself, and it's very light. The difficulty is to control the position of the center of gravity because it's so light that it's very sensible. But it's propelled by an elastic here. If you see here, you twist the elastic here, and it's going to fly. So that thing flies actually. Let's go back to the presentation. So the 3D Play app is to display the 3D information. And then you've got two other apps that are very important here, 3D Drive and 3D Space. So 3D Space, I'm going to start with this one. 3D Space is the app that you're going to use to have access to your data. This is where you're going to store all your 3D data. And what we've done, we've created one space per team. So each team has its own space. You cannot see what's in other spaces. So it's very hands-on, what we call invitation only. So once you accepted the invitation to the platform, we will see that on the administration side of the platform, and we will add you to those different spaces. So you will have access, each and every one of you will have access to one 3D space. You do have to accept the invitation to have access to those space because you have to accept the term and condition, and it will pop up at your first login. And after that, I have to see you as an active user to be able to add you to those space. So accept the invitation as soon as you can, and we will be able to give you access to those space. If you still do not have access to a space, if there's any issue, you're going to use the Space Challenge Q&A Swim community to ask us some question and help us and guide you in the environment. So this is the app called 3D Space, and this is where all your data is going to be saved. You also have a second app to manage data that's called 3D Drive. 3D Drive works like Dropbox or Google Drive, and you can actually connect your Dropbox to your Google Drive through 3D Drive. So it helps also in sharing information. And if it's 3D information, for example, this one, I should be able to see it in 3D. So again, I'm not on the Reach app. I'm on the web page. It's loading right now the information. I may have chosen a too big file. The drone is a big one, so it's going to take too long to load. But this is the advantage of 3D Drive. I'm going to stop the loading because it's too big. Here I think I've got some smaller parts. So here, those are V5 parts. So they're not native. Okay, it doesn't want to work today. They're not native to the platform, but I'm able to see them in that space. One thing to know, the Reach app, so the window where you were going to work with Katia, Similia, and Delmia, you're going to save data here with that function, but the data they're going to save is going to send to the 3D space, not 3D Drive. There is no, well, there is a link, but on a daily basis, the link between 3D space and the database is, the link between the Reach app and the database is in 3D space. So you will have to work with that environment. And 3D Drive, some of the functions allows you to go to 3D Drive, but most of the time you have to work with 3D space. So this is the main environment to work with. You will all, at the beginning, have access to command space, but as you log in, we're going to remove you some of the access, because I don't want everyone to save anything here, because the data for your project should be in the 3D space that is named after your university. This is what we did. And again here, I think this one should work. If I take this one and double click, I should have a preview of that window, of that part. It's loading. It's just a screw. It should not be long. Yes. And I've got the preview of my part here. So this preview will work for part, for assembly, for simulation, for drafting. Anything you do in the system, you'll be able to see it in 3D in here. And here I've got a small electrical component here that is visible here. So again, we do recommend you to work in the app 3D space and within your own collab phase. One thing to understand is that this space doesn't work like a folder. You cannot create subfolder here. There's a way to create subfolder. We're not going to cover that today. It's going to be on another webinar. But at this point, you're going to start with everything flat within your 3D space. And 3D Swim, I'm going to come to that a little bit later. So this is what you will find in the tab Work Team Social. So anything related to the execution of your project, the design of your rocket. And in the help, you're going to put, so we put a quick help and the access to the 3D experience help if you're looking for something. So this is the space challenge, the dashboard space challenge, the one I'm going to share with you. If you want to create your own 3D dashboard, you can. You all are able to say add dashboard. You're going to create demo space challenge. So you're going to create a new dashboard. And when you create a dashboard, you're going to have an empty window with one tab called first tab. I'm going to name it first tab. Okay. Where are the apps? So again, as I said earlier, the apps are under the space here. So let me refresh my page because for some reason I don't see my apps. Okay, my role are all been deactivated for some unknown reason. So we gave you all those roles. So you will have, except the first two ones, those are internal to Dassault, but the other ones, you have all those roles. And This is what controls the apps, the access to the apps. So depending on which quadrant you see, you're going to have the different apps. I do have a section called My Favorite Apps here. If I want to have an app that is always accessible here, I'm going to, for example, drag and drop assembly design here, and it's going to be always available. Here, I will add the app 3D Space, and again, the one that we want to have. You want to have 3D Swim. You want to have part design. Part design is here. So at the beginning, you may have to say, well, in which quadrant is my app? Think out what you want to do. If it's 3D design, it's 3D. If it's for collaboration, exchange data, it's on the north quadrant. It's for simulation, it's going to be in under VR. And again, I was looking for part design. Part design is, they are ordered alphabetically. So it's going to be here, and I'm going to drop it here. And when they are in the section, the favorite section, they're permanent, so they're persistent, sorry. So whatever the quadrant you are in, you will see them. So every icon that you see on the left side is an app. An app is something that's going to run either on the Rich app, as you see for part design, or in the web page. So for example, if I click on 3D Space, I'm going to have the app 3D Space open with its content. Same thing for 3D Drive. If I click on it, it's going to open. And so some of the apps are going to bring you to the Rich app. Some of them are going to open a window in your dashboard, and some of them are going to open a new tab, depending on the environment. You can have multiple tabs open in different dashboards. It will work. If you want to construct a dashboard, what do you do? So every icon is an app. However, some of the apps do have a second function. If you have an arrow on the top left corner, those apps are also what you call widgets. If you drag and drop it, this is how you add an app to your dashboard. And again, 3D Space, I can put it here, and so on. So this is why I was saying there's no need to program anything in the environment. Each time you're seeing a dashboard, if I go back to the example that I showed you earlier, so DS Space Challenge, which is the dashboard that I'm going to share with you. So what we did is it's a drag and drop of the apps, and then we add the correct information. So here in Work Team Social, you see here the app or the widget, which is called Enovia. Let me scroll up. Enovia Project Gantt. It's in here. And if I filter here on Gantt, I see the app Project Gantt, which is also a widget again, because on the top right corner, there is an arrow saying this is a widget. So this is how you construct and manage your dashboard and the app into your dashboard. And once it's done, you can actually, it's going to be saved automatically in your account. You don't have to do anything to save that. However, you can share something. I talked to you about the share earlier, but I can actually manage member of this dashboard. So I can have one dashboard shared by multiple people. And those multiple people can have different roles. They can be reader, contributor, and owner. So with the dashboard that I'm going to share with you, you're all going to have your own copy of that dashboard. However, later on in the challenge, if you choose to have one dashboard for the whole team, you can. You create your own version of a dashboard. So one person, the configuration manager, for example, create that dashboard, and then you share that information, you share the dashboard between all the users of the team. So that's one thing that you can do during the project. So that gives you an overview of the platform. So what we view is the dashboard, the 3D space, so the space when you're going to save your data, and the difference between the web app and the Rich app. And I'll also quickly talk about the installation. The only thing I didn't talk about is Swim. There is in the collaboration side an app called 3D Swim. This one, I'm going to click on it. This one opens a new tab. What do you find in 3D Swim? We did create some communities. So there's one community that is public, available to everyone. It's called Space Challenge Q&A Support. This is the one we're going to monitor to find some questions and answer your questions. So this is where to post. The other community, as they are private, meaning it's specific to one university, one team, and will give you access once you accepted the invitation. What can you do in a community? You can post different elements. You can post questions, you can post idea, just post a regular post, share some media, some survey. You can post a 3D design to your community, for example. I can share, I have nothing to share here, but because it's empty, but I can share to my community. So I can post directly something here, and you can give some answer, give some likes. And this is in this one. This is where we're going to post your answer and some generic information. So we're going to add you. I do recommend you to subscribe to that swim. And the reason I recommend you that, because once you subscribe, each time there is a post on the one for support, you're going to receive a notification here. In that notification window, you're going to see what's happening. And you can set it up, actually. You can decide if you want to receive, what kind of notification you want to receive. Is it only a bell icon? Is it an email? Is it only an alert? So if you look here for 3D Swim, I can say center, email, and so on. So you can set it up the way you want. What did we post so far? We had a post says a first step for new user into the experience. So I had a post specific for that. And I'm going to add a second post with the presentation that I'm using today. And again, we're going to follow with that, with support on that community. For your own usage, one cool thing I can show you, for example, if I create an idea, design idea, I can, okay, this is the idea. I can add any media that I want. It's just an example here. So I'm going to take this one, and I can publish that design idea. The post idea have a specific behavior. On top of being able to comment, like, and share, I can also manage the status of that idea. If that idea is approved by the team, you can make it a concept. Approved, concept approved. And then you have a follow, and the more likes you have, the more the circle is going to be. And if you say, well, this idea is actually very good, we want to make it for the product, so approved for as requirements. I can put it here on the product plan, and once it's approved, I can transfer that idea to a requirement. So right now, you don't have all those choices, but I will put it in the. Well, I will choose the. You will only have access to one collab space. CS is for collab space, and I can say, and I will not push it to you, Purdue. Just for the example, I can click here and it will create a requirement in that environment, and you can, after that, link that requirement to your design. So it's a more than a social tool for collaboration and to comment. It can also be used as a tool for design and to get some idea. And if you notice here, the dot here is on the blue section here. So you should look at your process and integrate that tool in your process to be able to track all the idea that you have, the one that were rejected, the one that were approved, but you have something that is included that is very easy to use in that environment. So again, for Swim, the app to use is 3D Swim. In the north quadrant, the app is 3D Swim. Here, it's going to open a new tab. You will have access to two communities, the one that is for support and Q&A, and the one for your team. One thing we did, though, if you go back here to work, team, and social, we did add a widget to the Swim at the bottom. So if you don't find where it is, go to the dashboard I'm going to share with you and look for this widget to the Swim. And we also give you access, give you a shortcut to the Swim community in that environment. So that gives you a quick overview of the platform and how to use it. Let's go back to the PowerPoint. So most of the things I want to talk to you, I already talked about them. So within 5 minutes, I think I will be at the end, and I will be open to answer some of your questions. I'm getting to the end now. So as you saw, there's a lot of apps. So I did pull out a few apps that I do recommend that you use. Those are the main ones. And so in the 3D section, you will see the app and the widget 3D Play, part design and assembly design. If you're not familiar with CATIA, there is another way to design in 3D, which is natural shape and natural assembly that you can use. And they're not mutually exclusive, meaning if you can switch anytime from one to the other one, and so on. So you can switch between the different apps, and we're going to do a specific webinar on that. Generative and wireframe surface is for surface modeling. Drafting, when you will have some to do drawing, and if you have some mechanism that you need to model, mechanical system design and mechanical system experience are the one to use. Behavior modeling is to resolve differential equation. I'm going to come to that in a few minutes. If you're using composites, I did put a set of apps here. If you are doing 3D printing, it's going to be later. Functional and logical design, this is the RFLP training I was talking to you about. If I go back here to the dashboard, I go back to the tab, 3D experience onboarding. There is a training called Model-Based System Engineering RFLP. This training is to use that app, logical and functional design. And functional and generative design, we're going to train you on that. This is for shape optimization. So to optimize the shape based on the load case that you have in your system. In the other quadrant, so in the north quadrants, 3D space, 3D drive, 3D space is mandatory. 3D swim, again, mandatory. Requirement to manage requirements. Collaborative bicycle, it is in the dashboard, but I did add it here. And collaborative task. On the more advanced task, bookmarks, this is to create virtual folders because you don't have folder in 3D space. My project and Project Gantt, I talked about them a little bit earlier. In VR, so right now, I didn't put a lot on the manufacturing side, so I only put additive part preparation. The only thing I think you may need at this point is a static study for, they're all FEA simulation. If you have something that is linear and for small displacement, you can use static study. This is enough. If you have something that is a little more complex and with some non-linearity or it's not isotropic, then you should go through structural model, structural scenario, and structural validation. And if it's for fluid, it's going to be fluid model, fluid scenario, and fluid validation for small models. But you can do some fluid simulation with FEA. And here, the apps that are in the last quadrant, the apps that are important are 3D dashboard, web page reader, quick links, and web notes. And maybe I will add also that PowerPoint in the email. I will put it on the Swim, but I will also attach that to your to the email I'm going to send a little bit later. So that's give you a quick overview of the platform. Just to finish, So I would like to give you a small example here. So I'm going to, well, first I'm going to start part design. Part design, where is part design? So here. So and I just want to make a quick scenario to show you that everything is integrated. What do I mean when I say everything is integrated? So I'm going to create a sketch here on a plane. It's going to just a rectangle here. I'm not going to control, well, I'm going to control that with some constraints quickly, just to give the system some information. I'm exit. I'm going to pad. So it's not this, for those who knows SolidWorks, it's not an extrude, it's a pad. Extrude function is a surface modeling here, pad is for solid, and you want to do some solid modeling. And from here I can save. So I can save here. And I say a little bit earlier, I said below my name here, I see a 3D space. And this is the space where I'm going to save. One thing to know, once you start something, so once you want one of the tab open here, is going to be locked on that 3D space. You will mostly have access to only one space, so you should see the name of your university / SC CS collaborative space at the end. If not, you need to change space. And to change space, you close all your tab and then you switch to another space. The thing to remember, you set the color space you are working in at the beginning, not at the moment where you need to save. It's at the beginning that you need to save. If you did not do that, you will still be able to save, and after that, import, export, and re-import in the right collab space. There's some mechanism to do that, and we're going to provide you a procedure for that. We are going to publish a procedure for data management to give you all those little tips. So right now I'm in part design, and again, if I want to do a pocket, I can go here. I'm going to create something, an ellipse. I'm going to exit, create a pocket, and I can see that I've got my pocket here. I'm not controlling the dimension here. The thing I want to show is that from here, let's say I want to go to prismatic machining, for example. So I'm going to filter to find my app, machining, prismatic machining. I click on the app, and the thing to look at is that I'm going to remain in the same window, but I'm going to switch products. So right now I'm in Delmia prismatic machining, whereas just before I was in CATIA part design. Everything is in the same environment. And same thing for Simulia. If I say I want to do a static study, I click on static study. It's going to launch the app. It's going to reuse the data that is already loaded in memory. And then I'm going to be in static study. So I'm in Simulia here, and I can start the setup of my design with the material and the mesh and everything. Here I'm in Delmia, and here I'm in modeling, and everything is linked. So once I update one, all the other components are updated. And to finish, the last example I've prepared is the app behavior modeling. So this one, I already entered the information. This is for equation simulation. So I have here a little program that I wrote, and which is here, Rocket. Just to show you how it is done. So I've got my variables at the beginning and a few set of equations here. What are those equations saying? So my variable here, is the engine on? If yes, if the fuel mass is positive, no, if the fuel mass is negative. what I'm doing as I'm going up or going down, and I will base that on the sign of my velocity. Here I'm trying to find what is the total force on my rocket. If the engine is on, the total force is the thrust coming from the engine, the gravity, and the drag. If not, I don't have any thrust, so it's only the gravity and the drag. The gravity is calculated by the rocket mass times the constant gravity, but the rocket mass change. The rocket mass is the empty rocket plus the fuel mass. And the derivative of the fuel mass in regard to time is the depend of if the engine is on and off. So it's the negative fuel burn rate if I ascending, or if it's 0 if I descending. And again, so for here I'm calculating the drag. If I'm ascending is positive, if I'm descending it's a negative. And then here to complete the set of equations, because I need as many equations as I have variables. What do I know? I know that the velocity is the derivative of the altitude, and the acceleration is the force on the rocket divided by its mass. So it's a set of equations, a set of differential equations. What can I do from here? I can, well, I already set it up. It's going to be simulated, and this is live, by the way. It's going to simulate that for 25 seconds. I'm going to execute that problem. So it's going to solve that problem. And from there, I will have a set of results. And those are the results that I have. And let me look at, for example, what's the force, the total force on my rocket. I'm going to say add to plot, new plot. And I see here, so in my example, the value that I have, I got fuel for 10 seconds. This is why I've got a drop here. So this here I'm ascending. I do in my model, it's a simple hypothesis. I do make the hypothesis that when I burn all my fuel, I'm going to switch and start and stop burning. So this is why the force is dropping here. But I have something continue here. If I look at the height on my rocket, so I'm going up. I still have some inertia here, so I'm going to up again, and then I'm going down after that, and so on. So what do I want to show you with that is that starting from the equation of the behavior of my system, I don't need to solve them. I only need to input them and ask the system to solve them, and I can start my design. And one recommendation that we can give you at that point is model your system more. And when you say model, it's not just in 3D. Model the behavior, find the right equation, start simple, and after that, add some more information to be able to simulate your system. And you can actually add some information related to the geometry of your system. If I go back, and I'm going to close my explanation on that, if I go back to my library, where is it? Here. Right now, the model that I have, it's a simple one. Where is my, I can close that. Is it open somewhere? Okay. Let me close that. And look at my library. Okay, it doesn't want to show anymore. Okay, but the point I want to show is that you have in one of the equation for the drive, you have the section of the rocket. Right now it's a constant, but after that you can add more information. See, what if I vary the section? What happen if I change the volume of my rocket? Meaning I have more fuel, less fuel, and what happen if the CG shift? You can make it complex a little bit later, but start simple. Do your first design, make a first simulation, and then look at what you can do. And after that, you can link that to your full design, to your mockup. And again, we're going to have a specific training for that if you want to use that. So I will stop here, and I will see if there is any question for the rest of the seminar. So I see I've got one question. Someone that is saying, I only received the invitation to this. Okay. And to the sub. I'm reading the question right now. Okay. So that person is saying that he did not receive an invitation to the software. So the invitation to connect to the platform is an email coming from Dassault system. So I see who asked that question. So I'm going to resend the invitation a little bit later today. And if not, I'm going to send you through an email the link to connect to the platform so that you can log in and create your passport from the web page and connect there. So I'm going to share that information with you a little bit later. Second question, is there a limit to how many team members can be on 3DEXPERIENCE? No, at this point there's no limits. So we sent an invitation to all students that were listed in the rosters. So everyone should have got an invitation. If I have some of the CEO online, I do have 10 people that I got a wrong email. I sent an email 1 week ago to get the right information. I didn't get some answer for some of them. So if you want to have all your team members connected to the platform, please look for your email and send me the right email, because the invitation is based on the email. I cannot invite people another way. But to answer to your question, there's no limit to how many team members. You have to be on the roster approved by base 11, but there's no limit. Is there any question at this point? So I think I've covered most of the information that I wanted to cover for this onboarding session. Oh, one more question. Oh, thank you. How will be? So you're going to this. So the question is how you will be able to display your portfolio using the platform. You're going to use a dashboard. You're going to create your own dashboard. You're going to set it up the way you want it, so that it's advantageous for your team to showcase your result, to showcase your analysis, to showcase your report. And this is what you're going to share with the judges. So this is the tool that you're going to use. By the way, I said to you that I'm going to send you a dashboard. I'm going to send you two dashboards. One is the example here, and the second one that is related to safety. We do have a specific dashboard for safety that is ready, and I'm going to share that dashboard with you. Space Challenge Safety Dashboard. So you will have a dashboard that's going to present all the safety information that you have so far, and you can refer back to that information a little bit later. So we're going to share that with you at the same time. I think, do I answer your question so far? I'm going to wait maybe 1 or 2 minutes if you're still typing a question. So again, this webinar is recorded and is going to be available live. We're going to put it in Swim community, but also we're going to post it on the AeroX challenge for everyone to have access to it. If there is no other question, thank you for your attention, thank you for your presence, and thank you for your playback if you're looking at that afterwards. And so we're going to, the next step for you, again, accept the invitation, connect, and start to work with the environment. Look for the Swim community for some support. And also, we're going to post the dates for the next webinar that are going to cover about modeling, about requirement management, about analysis, and about project management. But we're going to publish that in the next weeks, beginning of 2019. But we're not stopping to monitor the swim community starting now until next year. So if you have some questions in the meantime, we will follow up and answer to them. So thank you very much. Have a good day. Happy holidays and happy New Year if I don't speak to you again. And happy competition. I think you've got a great competition. It's very exciting for us to partner with Base 11 and every team to get you to make the design. And we're going to see you soon. Well, you're going to hear me soon and see you on one of the advantages program. Have a good day and see you soon. Bye.